Hi class, this is your carbohydrates module 14. So carbohydrates are term originally referred to hydrates of carbon, and because of the general formula of this compound was CnH2nOn. Ang N na class is pila ka numbers ang available sa structure. No, depende kung ano nga klase isang carbohydrates ang ato niya ang ginatukoy. So kung maglaining number, lain naman na ang ngalan, and so on and so forth. So however, some materials with this general formula are not carbohydrates, and some carbohydrates do not have this general formula. So these are the compounds which are either polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone. Either may aldehyde sa or may ketone, or a compound which yields either or both of these upon hydrolysis. So a product of photosynthesis where inorganic carbon dioxide becomes organic carbon with the utilization of solar energy accompanied by this release of oxygen gas. When you say saccharides, they are building blocks and fundamental subunits of carbohydrates. And storage form of carbohydrates, number 1, we have glucose. Now, storage from carbohydrate in animal tissue in which is found in the liver and muscle. We have number 2, we have starch. So, starch, storage form of carbohydrates in plant tissue. So, ari animal tissue si glycogen, plant tissue si starch. We have biological significance. Carbohydrates are in main source of energy in the form of ATP. So, we will have, for example, we take carbohydrates to have ATP. And other carbohydrate metabolic products are used in the synthesis of other types of compound. So metabolism is the process of breaking down into a simplest form. So ang carbohydrates i-metabolize sa isang lawas to form ATP or adenosine triphosphate. So synthesis of fatty acids and amino acids. So lain naman na iya nga may term kita nga ginagamit kung carbohydrates to ATP. May ara man kita term nga ginagamit kung from fat tapos naging ATP. Okay? Synthesis in the breakdown of foodstuff by acting as catalyst or promoters of oxidation. Classification of carbohydrates. We have simple sugar, monosaccharide na siya ang meaning niya, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. Simple sugar or monosaccharides, these are the CHOs that cannot be synthesized to simplest form. Kay simplest form na siya nga daan. It has a single polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone unit with a general formula of CnH2nOn. And according to the functional group present, aldose presence of aldehyde group, no, aldose. Ketose is present ang ketone group. So based on the number of atoms or carbon atoms in a molecule, we have triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose, heptose, and octose. So triose, magambal ka tri, tatlo, and not found in nature but as product of carbohydrates metabolism. We have the simplest monosaccharide. There are two types, glycerol aldehyde, or other name of glycerol aldehyde is glycerose or aldose na siyang iyang group. Dihydroxyacetone, ketone ang group niya. We have tetra or tetrulose, no? Apat ka carbon monosaccharide. So we have 3 types of tetroses. We have erythrose, treose, and erythrulose. And we have pentoses. Pentoses are 5-carbon monosaccharide. We have ribose. Ribose, constituent of RNA. Ang sugar niya, di ba? Arabinose, present in cherries and seen in glycoproteins of the body. Xylose is seen in proteoglycans. Lysose occurs only rarely in nature and is a component of bacterial glycolipid. Cellulose is an intermediate or uronic acid pathway. So we have hexoses, 6-carbon monosaccharide. They are the most important monosaccharide found in the plants, and they are the first detectable sugar in plants. Glucose and fructose occur in free state in plants. Sweet fruits, honey, and inverted sugar came from hydrolysis of sucrose, yielding equimolar quantities of glucose and fructose. We have allose, maltose, and glucose. They are most abundant monosaccharide in nature. We have 3 epimers of glucose. So we have mannose, galactose, idose. Mannose 2, galactose 4, idose 5. So epimers differ from each other only a single carbon atom. So si mannose di ang epimer niya at the carbon 2. So 1, 2. This is the difference of mannose. Mannose and second carbon siya. Si D-glucose, amoni. Our galactose is 4 epimer, a carbon 4, and we have L-idose. So we have mannose, glucose, idose, galactose, talose, fructose in the hexoses or the 6-carbon monosaccharide. We have heptoses. Heptoses is a 7-carbon sugar from a vital importance in the glucose metabolism of animals and in the photosynthesis process of plants. We have octose, 8-carbon sugar isolated from avocado pulp. So we have D-glycerol mono-octalose ang example niya. We have oligosaccharide carbohydrates, which is hydrolysis which yield 2 to 10 units. So we have disaccharide, ang iyang general formula or ang formula niya gid is C12H22O11, considered as the most abundant oligosaccharide. Number 1, disaccharide example is reducing disaccharide, those which contain a free aldehyde or ketone group. Number 1 is lactose. Lactose is milk sugar. Amo lang inatandaan nyo. They are least soluble, meaning medyo hindi siya soluble sa water, and least sweet of all sugar. So, class, if hindi nyo gusto mag-inom sang kape nga matamis, you could use lactose as the sugar or the sweetener because it contains lesser sugar, but at the same time may sugar man gamay. So amo na ang ginaubra usually sang mga tigulang, gagatas na lang kag kape, diba? And we have beta dextrorotatory level galactose plus beta dextrorotatory glucose. Cow's milk contains 4 to 5% lactose. Okay? And human contains 7 to 8% lactose. So, mas dako-dako gawa si human compare sa kay cow's milk. We have maltose. This is maltose. Maltose is malt sugar found in the germinating grains in the malt or among the series of substances formed by the hydrolysis of starch. We have beta-D-glucose plus beta-D-glucose ang iyang combination sang maltose. We have cellulose, biose. Sorry, kaya sakit ako natutunan. And they obtain from the hydrolysis of cellulose from wood or cotton. Ang combination niya is beta-D-glucopyranose plus beta-D-glucopyranose. So we have tests for reducing sugar for those who experience all the laboratory experiments. This is what you do, no? Tandaan taning apat. Yani we have Barfoeds, Benedicts, Nylanders, and Fellings. So their positive result, kung maghambal ka Barfoeds test and you conduct it, the result would be brick red PPT or precipitate. PPT is precipitate. Kung amo ni inyo nga test tube, for example, this is the water na blue. Tapos sa iya nga dalom diri may pintok-pintok. That is your precipitate No, kung positive result gani, no, or positive result in the reducing sugar, we have brick red precipitate. And Benedict's also, no? So there are 3 constituents of Benedict's reagent. We have copper sulfate, copper citrate, and carbonate. So sulfate provide cuprous ion, sodium citrate stabilize the reagent, and we have carbonate provide alkaline medium for Benedict's reaction. So we have Nylander's test, no? Its positive result is black precipitate PowerPoint. We have Fellings test for red PPT or precipitate. We have 2 types of Fellings, no? Okay, Fellings, we have Fellings A, copper sulfate, and Fellings B contains sodium hydroxide and Rochelle salt. So the positive result of Fellings test is brick red PPT, and also positive man siya if formation of brick red PPT may copper sulfate nga available. So the principal reduction is due to the reduction of cupric sulfate or cuprous oxide. So we have Fellings test basis of clinical determination of glucose in blood or urine. We have detection of reducing sugar. We have Fisher formula, free aldehyde or ketone group in the structure. So ang free aldehyde and the ketone group lang ang ginatanaw. And we have Hawthorne structure, presence of hydroxide group at the C1 or C2. We have non-reducing sugars. All are those whose aldehyde group are involved in the linkage. No free aldehyde or ketone group. We have disaccharide. Sucrose, aka table sugar, inyo nga kalamay, no? Cane sugar, saccharose, and beet sugar. So beet sugar are red niya siya, ang color niya. And we cannot have this in the Philippines because beet sugar are only available outside, no? Amo ni ang ilang sugar man sang sagwa. And most widely distributed in nature, obtained commercially from sugarcane and sugar beets. So we have alpha D-glucose plus beta D-glucose ang iyang combination, and connected by 1,2 glycosidic linkage. Honey contains invert sugar. So invert sugar is sweeter than sucrose. So mas mayo nga honey man ang ginagamit kay nga mas dasig siya i-convert sa lawas, or dasig siya metabolize ang honey sa atong lawas. And it's more sweeter than sucrose. So gamay mo lang nga butang tamis na siya. So we have trisaccharides, C18, H32O16. We have raffinose, forms in sugar beets, and made up of glucose, fructose, and galactose. We have tetrasaccharide or tetrasaccharides. Yield for monosaccharide molecule on hydrolysis. And we have stachinose, fructose, combination siya, fructose, glucose, and 2 molecules of galactose. We have polysaccharide. Polysaccharide are carbohydrates which on hydrolysis will yield several monosaccharide units. We have more than 10 saccharide and more complex siya and more high ang M ni siya dapat last. Molecular weight. So kung dako ang molecular weight last, mas dugay siya i-metabolize ang aton lawas. Whereas kung gamay lang ang molecular weight, mas dasig siya ma-metabolize sa lawas. We have cellulose group or cellulose, most abundant organic compound making up of 50% or more carbon, vegetation, and the purest source of cotton, and serves as a roughage for the excavation of bowel, and has D-glucose residue in 1,4 linkage and is not hydrolyzed, neither A or B amylase, and not digested by the vertebrates except by ruminant animals, in which cellulase is secreted by bacteria fragment cellulose into B-glucose. So, last wala ni siya hydrolyze ha sang lawas. Not ingested, digested gali. Meaning, kung nagkaon ka sang cellulose sa lawas mo, magwa man Japon is tada cellulose man Japon. Okay? Kag purest source of cotton ha. Purest source of cotton siya. Examples of cellulose is pentosan or C5H8O4 and water along chain of pentose unit. We have example of pentosan, xylan, and araban. So, xylan found in wood straw, rice bran, and corn cobs. Araban is found in gum arabic, mucilage, and fruit juices. We have hexosan, glucosan, and agar or glucosan, store shielding glucose. So, agar is used in medical research or laboratory. So if you have this kind of petri dish, now for example, this is your petri dish, and wait lang, gusto ko perfect char. So this is your petri dish class, and for example, you have to culture a bacteria. When you say culture, padamuon mo ang bacteria para mabalaan mo kung ano na siya, para matest mo siya at some certain stage. For example, I have this kind of bacteria in my body, and I want to know kung ano ni siya nga klase sang bacteria. So padamuon ko siya i-extract ko sa akong lawas, padamuon ko siya sa agar. Ang agar, do amo na siya ang suitable place to multiply. Kaya ang agar is sugar, diba? Sugar siya. So, when there is sugar, microbes can thrive. Microbes can thrive. So, for example, I have a cotton here, cotton swab. And then, di ako mucus. For example, tapos iswab ko na di siya. Tapos butang mo siya sa incubator. Pag butang mo sa incubator, may makita ka na nga daw. Gamo na. Daw molds na. So, ginabutangan niya siya agar, anay. For example, this is your agar. Ginabutangan niya siya na agar. Tapos, amo na, pag swab mo. Kaya that would be your, so that the microbes could thrive. No? And pwede siya mapadamo. So, okay. Go on na ta. We have dextran, polysaccharide produced by certain microorganisms when grown on sugar media. So, made up of the D-glucose monosaccharide having glycosidic linkages and synthesized by leucocornstalk dextranicum and used as blood extender due to its high viscosity, osmotic pressure, and low disintegration and utilization. So we have hexopentosan, pectins, colloidal carbohydrates responsible for gelling properties of fruits and commercially prepared from apples and lemons. And on hydrolysis, it yields arabinose, galactose, acetic acid, and methyl alcohol, and galactoronic acid. I think wala ka mo choice but to remember everything. Or just hindi man remember, pero be familiar, no? Ang importante mabalaan nyo ni na kung ano ni sila nga mga klase for example, ano ang sugar, no? Ano na siya ang sugar ta, no? That is a disaccharide, non-reducing sugar. Na. For example, what is the positive test for bar foods? What is the positive test for Benedict's? What are the 3 reagents of Benedict's reagent? Copper sulfate, citrate, carbonate. What is the stabilizing agent in the Benedict's? We have citrate or sodium citrate. Okay, what provides the cuprous ion? Copper sulfate. The 2 types of fillings, na anong unod niya? Ano ang positive result? Na, tapos tandaan nyo lang kung ang mga tandaan nyo mga non-reducing sugars. We have disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide. And also, class, before in our time, gagwa ni kung hindi ka kabalo, kung hindi ka familiar, and nga ka eh. Pero ginabalita lang ka mo, nga you have to. Ang mga gum arabic ni mucilage and fruit juices, or maski gum arabic, arabans, no? Ang mga silans na found in wood straw, na ano pa gad? I think that's it. Okay, class. Thank you.